Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? It is currently 10 a.m. on the dot on this early, wintry, cold Tuesday morning in Indianapolis. It is currently 39 degrees outside. It's supposed to get a little bit warmer today, I think. It's a beautiful day though. That's absolutely blue skies. I only see like one little wisp of clouds in the sky, and I can see a plane going up over there, and it's just an absolutely beautiful day. And I went to bed very, very early last night. I think I got into bed about 10:30 last night. Alex has been watching this Colombian novella. I don't think it's current. I think it's like an older Colombian novella, and he's been like watching episode after episode after episode of it. I guess he finally finished it last night at probably like, I don't know, something late, because I set my alarm for like 12:30 or 12:40. I laid down about, well, I set my alarm at like 10:30, but I actually probably fell asleep close to like 11. And the blackout curtains that Alex bought for our room make such a huge difference, you guys. I mean, such a huge difference. It's so nice in our room. It's just pitch black and it's cozy, and the dogs were all around me, and it just was really nice last night. So I woke up at whenever my alarm went off, 12:30 or 12:40, and I turned it off, and then I was like, well, if I wake up in the middle of the night, I'll go vlog. And if I don't, then I'll just vlog in the morning, because I was extremely tired last night. I got up really early yesterday, and so I was really, really tired. I've been going all day long, and so yeah, I was just like, if I get up in the middle of the night, I'll go vlog, and if I don't, then I won't. I'll vlog in the morning. And I actually woke up at like 6 o'clock, and I was like kind of awake. And I was like, I should just go right now and vlog from like 6 to 7 or 6 to 7:30 and get, you know, make some coffee or go get some coffee or whatever and go vlog now. And I was like, or I could just go back to sleep for a little while. So I went back to sleep until Alex got up to go to work, and at that point, I just was like, you know what, I'm up for the day. And I feel very, very rested. I got like, what, 9 or 10 hours of sleep last night. And I actually got up and was like up out of the bed and stuff at like 8:20, 8:30 this morning, I think. And one of my new favorite things is listening to the Michelle Collins show on Radio Andy. I love her show. And so when I get up early in the morning, I would like to listen to her show if I can catch a little bit of it. So I made some coffee and listened to a little bit of the radio, or a little bit of the Michelle Collins show. She's just, I find her to be so funny. And so, and then I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna vlog. And so I made a little bit more coffee, and this is Santa. This is like one of my favorites. Did I tell you guys that I bought more coffee for the cure? Well, I did, and I spent way too much money on the Amazon, but I was going through and I was like, Christmas K-Cups, and then I found all of these different K-Cups flavors and just all different kinds of stuff, and I was like, oh my god, I want to try this and I want to try that. And there was like praline brittle and all these different kinds on Amazon. I ended up spending like another $100 on, $100 and something, $20 probably on Amazon K-Cups. But you know what? I have not been going to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts other than to maybe do a review. And I have just been making my coffee at home. Yesterday, I had like 4 or 5 cups of coffee, and all at home. And so I'm like, I'm kind of saving money that way by like not going there. You know, I mean, that's like $4 or $5 a day. Well, if I do a review at Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, it's easily $10 or $11. And so I feel like I'm, you know, saving money. And I don't miss it. I actually really like making coffee with these K-Cups at home. So the coffee that I bought and the coffee that I have will definitely, they're all kind of wintry flavors. And I bought this, the reason why I bought these were like, I bought, so I got on there originally to, well, I think it was to look at Christmas bows for the mailbox, of which I still can't find. But it was originally because this Santa's White Christmas, I think is what it's called, by Barney's, is like easily one of my favorites next to the Starbucks gingerbread. And I was like, I wonder if they're gonna stop selling it like once Christmas is over. And I really like the flavor, especially if I'm gonna be like driving around in the snow or the cold, you know, in January and February and March, doing my vlog. So I was like, I wanna buy some more of that before they like stop it for the year. They may not, like it may be something that you can get all year round, I don't know. But then when I was on there and I was looking, I just found all of these other different like K-Cups. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna order some of these, and I'm real excited for them to come. I think they should come today or tomorrow, because I ordered them a couple days ago. I talked about it on here whenever I ordered it. So anyway, made the cuppy, cuppa, and now I am ready to vlog. So how are you guys doing today? I had a really good day yesterday. Very, very full. I had so many things to do yesterday. I got up really, really early. You know, the days that I get up super early, I'm really happy that I got up early. And I'm like, oh, I got so much stuff done, and I got a really great night's sleep last night, on and on and on. But like, I really miss like being up late at night, because I am such a night person. Like, I really enjoy the night. And by the way, just not that you guys care, but I've been wearing these. I bought these in the fall for like my fall shoes, but now we're going into winter, and I've been wearing them every day. And they're these Birkenstock clogs, and I love them so much. I had a pair of them like back, well, a couple years ago I had a suede pair, and then before that I had a leather pair, and I just really like them. And you know what's so interesting is that people stop me and they're like, oh, I love your shoes, and I'm like, thank you. They're so comfortable. But, and yeah, I still don't have socks on, and it's 39 degrees outside, which is probably why I woke up today a little bit with my throat was sore this morning when I woke up, and I was like, oh, I hope I'm not getting sick. And then I was like, well, it probably was from I made 7 videos yesterday. And so it was like talking constantly throughout the day. And then I had this like recovery commitment thing in the middle of the afternoon, talking during that. And then we started up our literature group meeting again last night. So that was like, you know, talking off and on for like an hour. And we went like an hour and a half. But yeah, yesterday was such a great day. I got up early and got all kinds of stuff done. And I was like, when did I vlog? I must have vlogged earlier the night before, because I already had my vlog up and like ready to go yesterday. And so yeah, I can smell that lip balm. It smells so good. Oh, you know what is so funny? So I came outside to come to my car, and my neighbors, who finally put up Christmas lights, and they're so pretty. They put these little, well, I don't know if you can see it right here, but they have these, do you see the little things right there in the corner? Every one of my neighbors, like, we all decorate so differently, and they put up these like big like light bulb things, and then they have little colored light bulbs through their little bushes right here, and it looks so cute. And then they have a really nice wreath and a little reindeer on their patio. But they have like their window cracked open. Their kitchen is like right there, and they have their window cracked open to their kitchen. And when I walked outside, I could smell the mix of like, it smells like cinnamon rolls mixed with bacon. I was like, oh my God, that smells so heavenly. Even though I don't eat bacon, it still smells heavenly. I love the smell of breakfast food. So, okay, yesterday, got up and filmed some videos in the morning. Listened to a little bit of the Michelle Collins show, because I got up early yesterday. And actually the night before, I was like, trying to, well, I had a bunch of stuff I had to do all day long. I had all kinds of stuff I had to do, all kinds of commitments and stuff. And so I was like working around that, and I was trying to go to bed early the night before, and I ended up going to bed. Yes, I am going to go drive here in just a second. But I ended up going to bed at like, oh, I don't know, it was like probably 2:30, 2:45 in the morning. And so when I woke up, I was like, man, I didn't really get that much sleep. But I felt rested yesterday. So I just got up and listened to a little bit of that show. I made a video. I don't remember which video I made, but I ended up taking like a shower and doing my hair. I was like, okay, if I take a shower, then I'm just gonna feel so prepared for the whole day, which is actually when I get done vlogging. I think I might go do a review right after I get done vlogging, but after I get done vlogging and doing this review, then I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna take a shower and do my hair and just like get ready for the day and all that kind of stuff. although this will probably be a 2-shower day because I have my meeting tonight, and then it's my friend's 5-year birthday, and so, and she's in the literature group, 5-year sobriety birthday. She's in our literature group that's real small. She's like one of the 5 of us. So we're going out to dinner, the 5 of us, tonight after our meeting. So that'll be really fun. I'm excited about that, to go out with my sober sisters. My good Judy, sober Judy's, and that'll be really fun. So anyway, yeah, I did that, and then I filmed a bunch of other videos, and then I had this like commitment in the middle of the afternoon that I had to do. And then I came back and got some other stuff done. I had some errands that I had to run and things like that. And then, but I ended up getting like, well, plus the vlog, 6 videos, no. 6 videos plus the vlog, which would be 7 videos that I got done yesterday and uploaded and stuff. And then like had candles lit and everything was ready in time for me to do my literature group. So I was super, super excited about that, and super excited because we hadn't done it, you know, in a couple months. So that was really fun. And we actually started right where we had left off with the book Drop the Rock, which is about character defects in step 6 and 7. And we just read, and then we talked, and it was really fun. So anyway, that was that. And then afterwards, we talked to Tanya on the phone for a little bit, and then I came home and hung out with Alex. Talked to Alex and just kind of hung out in bed with him for a little bit with the dogs, and then he ended up going back and watching his novella. I don't know what this novella is called. I asked him, and I can't remember what he said. But he finished it last night anyway. Yeah, and then that was it. And that was my day yesterday, and it was fantastic. And now I have, today. I have today. Thank you for today. No, I have a bunch of stuff that I want to get done today. I don't really have, like a ton of errands that I need to run. Oh, you know what? Actually, that's not true. I'm going to take you guys with me. I have to go and, pick up, Tucker's medicine. I do have to do that. So I actually picked up his other 2 medications at the vet, and one of them they call in, and I need to go pick that up. So I'm gonna go do that right now. And then what's the other things that I need to do today? There's something else that I need to do. Well, anyway, this video and then my review video. And then I'm gonna come home and like take a shower and make some other videos for my other channels. And yeah, and then start getting ready about 6:30, and then go pick up Tanya Jean and get her by 7:30, and then go to our meeting, and then we're gonna go out to dinner afterwards, and that will be the night, and I'm real excited about that. I wish I was, my only thing is, I wish I was further along in Leanne Moriarty's Apples Never Fall. I wanted to have it done by tomorrow, and that's just not gonna happen. I mean, I still have like something like 14 hours or something like that to listen to, which even at 2 times speed is like 5 or 6 hours. So it'll probably take me the rest of the week to finish. I was actually talking to Tanya about it last night, who was the reason why I picked this book, because she said it was so fantastic. She's like, oh my God, that book was so good. So I was talking to her about it last night, and I said, well, I started driving over to her house because I thought that she wanted to get a fountain pop, but then she was like, oh no, I'm snuggled in for the night or something like that. She's like, I don't want to go anywhere. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I misunderstood. So anyway, I had these, I don't know if you guys can see these. No, it just fell again. It's gonna be too hard to show up on camera, but they're like these little white dots. Shoot, I can't even pick it up, they're so small. Can you guys see that? That little white dot? Okay, I have those everywhere in my car because of the bean bag for the camera. Like, the bean bag has like this little small rip in it, and so like whenever I pick it up, it's like they come out, and they're like embedded in my seats and in the crack right here. I mean, they're like everywhere. I don't even know how to get them out. But anyway, so I was talking to Tanya on the phone because I thought she wanted a fountain pop, but she didn't. So anyway, I kind of was like driving in that direction, then I came home. So I said, yeah, like, when does this book get good, Tanya? Like, I'm like, it's good. Like, it really is a good book. But it's, like, I mean, it's not slow, like boring slow. It's just like, you know, it's all building up to something, but you can't really figure out what it's building up to, right? And the characters are interesting and the story's interesting, but it's like, I remember with Big Little Lies, like, I literally could not put that book down. And I don't feel like this. Like, I feel like this is good, but this is definitely not the book that you want to take on vacation. So she's like, that book wasn't that. Oh, she was like, yeah, I remember that. She was like, what book are you reading? And I said, because she can never remember books. And I said, Apples Never Fall. The Liam O'Leary book that you told me, you know, that was so good. She goes, I didn't say that. She goes, I said it. I said, Tanya, I said, you most certainly did say that it was good. She goes, no. She goes, it was okay. She's like, the end redeemed the book. She's like, because at the ending of the book, she's like, it's just so fantastic. She's like, yeah. She's like, I just loved all the characters and the storyline and the building up and the history. Because it's about a mom and dad that run this tennis camp, and then or tennis coaching facility, and the 4 siblings and how they play. It's all about tennis. Well, I mean, it's not about tennis, but it's about how they look at the world through tennis, I guess. Anyway. And then the mom, right at the beginning, is missing, and they don't know where she's at, and that's really what the book is about. So anyway, I was like, Tanya, I cannot believe that I picked this book because you said it was so good, and now you're saying, she's like, I didn't say. I said, yes, you most certainly did. So anyway, I'm going to take the, I'm just sitting here. I don't know why I decided just to sit here, but I am going to for just a second. I'm going to take the lid off my coffee because it is so hot. Can you see the steam coming off the coffee? I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm going to let it cool a little bit. So yeah, so I want to finish that book, and then I'm probably going to do mostly Christmas cozy mysteries between, I wonder if my neighbor went and got breakfast, because she just left and now she's back home, or it's her boyfriend. I wonder if he got breakfast for them. Breakfast in bed. I have a lot of Christmas books that I bought, Tic Tac Mistletoe. A Sprinkling of Murder, The Lights on Knockbridge Lane, My New Crush Gave to Me, The Tourist Attraction, If the Fates Allow, The White Christmas Inn, Murder in Her Stocking, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, When Christmas Comes, which is my book for Peter's Book Club for December, Apple Cider Slaying, A Skeleton in the Family. These are all the Christmas books that I have to read. I'm real excited about it. Not to mention all the other cozy mysteries and stuff. So I've got probably a good 10 Christmas books to read. Yeah. So that'll be fun. How long does it say that I have on Apples Never Fall? Let's look and see. Right now it's plain. I guess he'd rather something by Mary Chapin Carpenter. Okay, hold on a second. Yeah, it's like my hold on a second. My I don't know what it is. My radio or my stereo won't play stuff through it the last couple days. I don't know why. It's it won't connect. It's the weirdest thing, you guys. I can't figure it out. I mean, I can play it through the auxiliary cord, but yeah, it doesn't pull up on the Bluetooth. And I know the Bluetooth is connected. Yep, it says connected. I'm disconnected. Disconnect. Connect. There. Let's see if it lets me play it now. I don't know what's going on. It's been the last 2 or 3 days. It's the weirdest thing. So anyway, yeah, but I'll probably finish that book sometime this week. like, I'm enjoying driving around listening to it, so I don't want to, I just remembered what I did the night before and why I went to bed so early. I don't want to, like, I'm already listening to it at 2 times 5 speed. Like, I want to enjoy listening to it. The night before, here, I'll start driving. The night before, because I want to see what time this place is open that I want to do this review at, this Jaggers restaurant that supposedly has these peppermint shakes. Hold on a second. The night before, well, I had bought all of this, like, cheese and pub dip, I love that stuff. I put Caroline's wreath out on our front porch and it looks so pretty. I just love looking at my porch. It makes me so happy. It really, really does. But anyway, so I pulled all that stuff out and was like eating leftovers and stuff and having like a little buffet, and I didn't know what to watch. And so I was getting on Hulu to watch the last episode of Only Murders in the Building. And that show came up. It's like Dateline, I think, but it's a Diane Sawyer interview with the Turpin sisters. And Tanya had talked to me about this, and I started getting a lot of comments on like videos of mine, like my vlog specifically, and I think it was even on just like my Peter Monn channel, my drama channel, that people were like saying like, did you watch the interview with Diane Sawyer and the Turpin sisters? You guys, I started watching this show. Well, I did watch this show. I watched the whole hour and a half of it, or however long the interview was. Do you guys know about this case? Do you know about this story? Because I have to tell you, I didn't know anything about this until Tanya was like talking to me about it the other day. I literally sobbed and bawled through this entire show. It was just pretty unbelievable to me. So it's about these sisters. Well, there was 15 kids in the family, and 2 parents, and one of the sisters, I think it was like 4 years ago, she ran away from home to call the police and tell them that all of the kids were being abused, and that some of them were chained up. This is like, this camera, I don't know what it is doing tonight, or today. That some of them were chained up, and they would throw them across the room and all this, and they neglected them and left them there for like days on end with like no food, and they didn't feed them properly. They weren't educated. They weren't any of them in school. And okay, first of all, so you have live cam footage of this girl talking to the police officer, the 911 call. That's first of all, okay? I'm sobbing through that. Then second of all, you have this girl meeting the police officer that shows up, you know, and she's talking to him. Then they do the body cam footage of going in to the house, which is Hoarder's, like, nightmare. And then they find the kids, which that's horrific, okay? And I'm watching all of this, and I'm just like, man, if you ever have a complaint in your life again, if you ever complain, you know, like, this is, like, you need to remember this as far as a source of gratitude. Like, you know, there are, and this is just one example of probably hundreds of thousands of examples of people living like this, you know? Maybe some of them in our own neighborhoods that we're not even aware, because that was like one of the things, was that they lived in like this very nice, you know, upscale California neighborhood, suburb. So then these kids get rescued, and they all go to the hospital, and it was like real sweet. Like this one girl who's now like, she was 17. She was the one that ran. It was her and her other sister that kind of like came up with this plan. There was one thing I didn't understand, was that there were like older siblings, and I didn't understand if like the older siblings had left the house when they turned 18 or were still there. But I don't think they did, because the older sister, Michelle, was like, she was older by quite a bit, and she was still there in the house. So I think they were all still there. I'm not really sure, but like they had siblings up to like 25, 28 or something like that, that were like still in this house. And I think that they were like staying there out of fear, because the police asked them like, why did you not like try to leave? And she was like, well, we were afraid. There was always somebody watching us. I just can't even imagine. So then, if that's not bad enough, they get out of all of this. These sisters, I mean to tell you, like some of the strongest people I've ever witnessed in my entire life. And I loved this one sister. She was like, I think her name was Michelle. She was like, we don't want pity and sympathy or whatever. She's like, we want the Turpin name to be synonymous with strength. Like, we want people to look at us and be like, wow, they're really strong, you know, which I thought was really cool that she said that. But then at the end, like, they had raised all of this money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars for these kids, and donated clothes and all this kind of stuff. And like, they had not gotten the resources that they needed. Some of the kids had been they had been placed in like foster care homes where they were re-victimized. So here you have these kids that have been living like this, abused, neglected for years on end, and then you take them out and they're re-victimized again. And I'm like, I cannot believe this. Like, this is like, I mean, I do believe it, but beyond heartbreaking. They don't have access to their own money. They don't have access to resources. They're living in horribly scary neighborhoods. And I was really glad at how, I think it was ABC News, that like they were asking the questions that needed to be asked. Like, why are these kids not getting the resources that they need? Why are they, whatever. And there had been this woman that I can't remember her name, but if you watch it, her name was all over at the end of it, because they show her name, they show her getting out of her car, they show her an advertisement because she was a realtor, and she was also like the appointed court advocate or whatever for these kids, that she kept like their resources from them. I actually looked this woman up on Instagram. Her stuff's so privatized you can't even get to it. Of course it is, because, you know, what do people do when they get called out? They don't come out and actually try to make it right. They just, you know, hide from all of that. I just was like, whatever. It's something, her name was something Gonzalez, I can't remember. But they actually talk about it at length. She doesn't work there anymore. But like, she's the one basically that kept these kids from getting the resources that they needed. And the girls talk about it. They're like, yeah, we live in scary neighborhoods. The one girl was like, I don't even have an apartment. I couch surf. She's like, I just go from place to place. And she's like 21 years old. I'm like, seriously? Like, this is so heartbreaking to me. But they said that they were going to continue to investigate it. The coolest thing was at the end. So, and this was, like, I knew about this because I had read both the J.C. Dugard books. So if you don't know who J.C. Dugard is, J.C. Dugard was the girl that was kidnapped and held in captivity for like 20 years or 18 years or something like that, and had two girls with her, the husband. It was actually a husband and wife, but the husband kidnapped her. And, so we read her books in a true crime book club. They're quick, simple reads, but the story is unbelievable. I would highly recommend the J.C. Dugard books. So, but she has started a foundation for helping families to deal with what her family went through, or like when kids are found and things like that. And so at the end of the episode, they said that J.C. Dugard had set up a fund through her foundation to raise money and make sure that these kids got the resources that they needed. You know, and some of these kids are not kids. Some of these kids are grown adults that have no skills, no education whatsoever. And this was one of the things that I thought was really interesting, that I think it was the other reporter at the end, this David Scott guy, that said something, or not the reporter, but he was like working with ABC News, and I think he said it, or I don't know if it was he or Diane Sawyer, but they said it about, you know, these kids had been living in fear all their entire life, and so they didn't really have, I don't remember how it was said, but this is just my interpretation, they didn't really have realistic responses to, like they didn't have the same fear factor that everybody else has, right? Whereas, like, you know, if we're walking down the street, you know, and somebody's carrying a gun, we might, like, be a little terrified or something like that. Like, they didn't have that because they had grown up in such a daily state of fear that their fear threshold was a lot lower. So they're in these dangerous situations and they're trusting of strangers. Like, they don't even realize that they're in danger, right? Like, and they're grown adults, so they could be completely taken advantage of and stuff. And I thought, wow, that's like, I never thought of it that way, you know? I don't know, it was just like, this story was unbelievable to me. It just broke my heart. And then these parents, of course, get in the courtroom. This was the most amazing thing to me, not the parents, but, you know, they got in the courtroom and they, of course, like, you know, cried a river over how bad they felt. It stopped. I was talking about the parents crying in the courtroom. And the dad at one point was like, I hope one day I can have contact with my kids and stuff. And I was like, oh my God. But several of the kids have actually, like, they sent court statements. It's hot in this car. They sent court statements or something forgiving the parents. And we're like, we've already forgiven you for what you did. And I thought, man, I don't know. I talk a lot about forgiveness, but you're better than I am. And both of the girls were kind of like, you know, at one point maybe we'll see them, but like that's a long time away. Like, we're not there yet and whatever. You know, the other thing that they were talking about was that, like, and this is so interesting when you talk about, like, you know, kids in homes like that, I mean, there were 15 kids. Each kid's journey and experience was completely different to the next, right? So you couldn't even compare them. So if you were talking to one, like, their experience might have been completely different to the other, you know? Anyway, I watched that night. So that would have been Sunday night. Oh my God, I have the newest episode of Dragula to watch. I didn't even realize it till right now. Well, I'll have to watch that later. Maybe I'll watch that tonight after my meeting and after I go to dinner and after I vlog. I love Dragula so much. Okay, Jaggers, are they open yet? They're open. I mean, like, the business is open, but I don't know what time they open. Yep, there it is, right there. They have it's a big one. And the peppermint. What does it say? Pepper Mama Mint Shake. I don't know what time they open though. I think it's kind of a strange restaurant to put over here, honestly. Like, like when I think about, like, fast food restaurants that they build up places, like, I just feel like that, like a Jaggers is kind of strange right there. I don't know. It's just me. Oh, by the way, I know this is kind of strange for the vlog, but I actually, like, in the last week, I got 2 messages from people that watched the vlog, and they were like, well, one of them asked for my Scentbird and my Adam and Eve code and said that I don't ever talk about those things over here. And then the other one just asked for my Adam and Eve code. So I will link my Adam and Eve code underneath here. I'm actually getting ready to do a Scentbird video coming soon on my drama channel. So when I do that, I'll do it in time for Christmas because I think it's a great Christmas present. But when I do that, I will also link it over here in case anybody wants to use Scentbird. I'm actually waiting for them to send us our new little Scentbird sticks, and then I'll do that. But the Adam and Eve code is you just go to adamandeve.com, and at the end on the code, you put in Peter, and then you get 50% off your first item plus free shipping and handling. And I know a lot of people are probably like, ooh, Adam and Eve, but in all honesty, there's like a lot of things over there that are like not so spicy, that are actually like relationship builders. There's like some fun games in there and stuff. But you know, like, I was saying this in a video that I did the other day, and all real talk, like, for Christmas presents with Alex, like, I always try to do, like, okay, like something that he really wants, which is usually some kind of luxury item, right? Like, I try to buy him something really nice. I mean, I buy a lot of little stuff too, because I just, like, through the year, I'll see stuff. I actually have my Christmas list of shopping that I need to do almost complete. So I need to go and start just like, well, most of it I can just get online. So I need to start buying this stuff online. But anyway, not for Alex. But I usually, so this is just an idea as a couple. I usually do something like nice. Like I buy him like some kind of like, not always a luxury item, but something nice. Like I think last year was when I bought him the Gucci fanny pack. And then I get him something more romantic, like more meaningful for me, you know, which is usually something like cologne, or I know it doesn't really sound like a romantic present, but I think it is. It's something that I want him to smell like, because I like that scent. And then if he wears it, or like he wears Boogeyman a lot, and I bought them for him, which is a great scent, ladies, for your husbands, if for the men in your life, fathers or whatever. And then I buy him something practical, like a book for work, you know, something to do with like marketing or something like that, or something that I think he'll like, or something for the kitchen, or something that something practical. And then I buy him something kind of spicy and sexy, you know, from AdamandEve.com. Something like, either something fun for us, like, there's like dice over there that, I mean, I'm not going to get into the specifics of it, but there's like dice over there that there's all kinds of fun stuff for couples, you know, or if you're a little bit more explorative, whatever. So anyway, you can go check that out if you want to, but just to think about it. I also, like, I think they still have them. I got coupon books one year, or like, I think that was last Christmas. They have these like coupon books that like are like, you know, for one good this and one good. I like those. I've actually made those in the past. Like I did them for my mom, like, you know, but different. Like, you know, one free house cleaning, one free this, or, you know, whatever. One free cooked meal, one free me taking you out for the, you know, those kinds of things. Taking you out to a restaurant. I like homemade stuff too. So anyway, I just thought I would mention that on here, because I never mention that on here. So I'll put that information in the comment section below if you guys are interested in that whatsoever. And then what else? I think that's it. Yeah, I think I have everybody figured out that I need. Well, like David and Mike, I don't have figured out what I'm going to get them, but they're not super difficult. I hate doing gift cards, but like David, I might just do like a gift card. I shouldn't say on here. David is actually my only family member that watches quite a few of my videos. So, I'm not gonna say. Caroline's son is like one of my only family members that watch. Well, Alex's mom actually watches quite a few of my videos. So, she's easy to buy for. I have like 2 or 3 things that for Christmas. Well, yeah, I don't want to say. I think she watches my vlogs too sometimes, so I don't want to say what I'm getting her for Christmas. But needless to say, well, what we're getting her for Christmas, but needless to say, she'll be happy. It's funny, it's like Fufu and his girlfriend Jesse, Alex's brother, and his girlfriend, they live so far away and they're not coming home for Christmas this year, but they are literally like the easiest for me to buy. Like I see stuff that I think of for them all the time because they're so like colorful, and their apartment has plants everywhere and surfboards, and they love to ski and snowboard, and they're always going with their friends' places, and they just like, you know, they have colorful stuff all over the place. And so I always see like they love to hike, they love to just go to the beach for an afternoon, and I see like all of this stuff, like picnic kits and blankets for the beach, and you know, just cool stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, these are all like, these would be so perfect for Fufu and Jesse. Carlos and Liliana, I actually asked them the other night when everybody was over at Alex's mom's house. I just went around to everybody and I said, what do you want for Christmas? And honestly, I was really happy. Everybody told me exactly what they wanted for Christmas, each person. So that'll be pretty easy. Carlos wants a G-Shock watch, and Liliana wants some kind of curling iron that I don't understand it, but Alex understood it. So, I mean, that was real easy. And then they told us what to get the kids. So that was super, super easy. Yeah. And then Alex had it figured out, like, for his aunt and uncle and abuela. He was like, he knows what he wanted to get them for that. So, oh, I know. One of the things I was gonna do for David and his girlfriend was do some kind of an experience. So I'm like trying to find some cool experience in Indianapolis that they could do. I have a couple different ideas, but I wish they did these. They used to do these like laser shows, and they would do them to like, well, they did them to all kinds of music, but they would do them to like Pink Floyd. It was through the Children's Museum, and it was like in their the observatory. And so you would go in there, like you would look at the observatory, I think, but instead it was like this. We went one year when I was like 20 or something. And so they do this huge like light show kind of thing, and they did like Pink Floyd, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones. It was like all these classic rock groups, right? And probably did the Grateful Dead or something. I don't remember. I know when we went and saw the Pink Floyd one, I think. And like David would love something like that because he loves all that classic rock, because you know he plays the drums and stuff. His girlfriend would love that too, because she's just very cool, free spirit type. It was so funny because when we were playing this game Sloth the other night, he like had like walked into the other room for a second, and like so they got their question, and the question was, he went like out to the garage to like get them sodas and stuff, and so like he was like out in the garage when they got asked their question, and the question was like, name a Beatles album. But the trick to the game was that you were supposed to come up with the answer that like nobody, like that wouldn't be on the card, right? So you wouldn't say like, you know, Abbey Road or something. Like it wouldn't be like a real obvious answer or whatever, you know, or the White Album or something like that. And she was so funny because she goes, oh, David's gonna kill me, because she's like, I don't know. And then he like walked in, and so his dad read in the card. He goes, oh, that's easy. And he said this Beatles album that I have like literally never heard of in my entire life. I don't even, Soul something. I know one of you out there is like saying it, but I was like, I have never heard of that album in my entire life. So anyway, I talked to Caroline yesterday, and so for Christmas Eve, she and Mike, her husband, and David, and her other stepson that's coming into town, they are going to go out to dinner. So she was like, let's just not do anything together for Christmas Eve this year, because her other stepson and wife are not coming because they do Christmas Eve at her family's house. So I was like, that's perfect, because we're doing stuff with Alex's mom and cousin anyway that night. And I said, well, you're going to go to dinner early. And she was like, yeah, Alex. So Alex's mom and Caroline literally live like 3 minutes apart from each other. And I said, well, I said, when you come home, I said, do you want to come? She was like, I don't think everybody's going to want to come over there. You know, David will probably want to do something with his girlfriend, and Mike will be tired. And I said, well, do you want me to come and pick you up, and you can stay for like an hour and just like hang out with us, and I'll like drive you home, and you can have like a glass of wine or something? And she's like, yeah, I think that would be fun. She's like, it'll just have to see how tired I am. She was like, but sure. She was like, I think that would be a lot of fun. So we are going to go over to Alex's mom's house probably at 7 or 8 on Christmas Eve, because their Christmas Eve is always at night. And it's just going to be real small. It's just going to be like the 4 of us. And then Caroline will maybe come over later, and I'll go pick her up, and she can come over and just kind of, we're just going to hang out and listen to music and have a, you know, nice dinner and watch some Christmas movies and stuff. It's going to be really laid back, and actually, I'm really looking forward to that. I think it'll be nice. And then Caroline said, and then why don't you guys come over about 4 on Christmas Day? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. So we're going to do that and have Christmas dinner at her house and exchange presents on Christmas. So it'd be really nice. I actually like that we're just having such a relaxed kind of, you know, chill Christmas. I'm not entirely sure that next year, well, I would like to leave like the 26th to go to the Caribbean or Mexico. That is my plan for next year. I think if we plan ahead, we can afford it. It just was super expensive this year at the last moment. I mean, unless we see something that we find something that's like, you know, not super expensive. We were kind of like really undecided about what we were going to do for New Year's Eve. And I was like, well, babe, what do you want to do? And I mean, it's down to the wire. Like, if we're going to go out of town, we need to make plans for that. But I really, to be honest, just don't want to spend all the money to go out of town for 2 or 3 days. That's an expensive trip for New Year's, just to go out for one night somewhere and not even, you know, whatever. And I said, why don't we just get a couple couples together? Like, our friends own a club downtown. They're going to be doing something at the club. I said, why don't we just go out to dinner? A couple of our friends that are couples, and Melissa and Jason are going to be here. So I said, and then we can just get a section at the club, and then we can go out. Oh my God, somebody threw all these pumpkins out here in this field. That's so funny. Because it's like a field, and there's like these pumpkins that have been thrown out there, you know. But anyway, and I said, just get a section at the club, and I said, and then if you want to stay later than me, that's fine. You know, I'll obviously stay till like 1 o'clock probably. And then if I go and vlog, or, you know, I mean, if Melissa and Jason go with us, and Melissa might want to come home with me. Jason and Alex stay out sometimes together because Jason loves the DJs just like Alex does. And I mean, I love the DJs too, but like, you know, he'll like, Jason will sit there and just like listen to the music, and because, you know, he's a musician, and so he loves all that. So Melissa and I'll go home and get something to eat or whatever, you know. But I think that might be just kind of like fun and to do something different. And I had fun going out to the club the other night. He was like, you are the one suggesting going to a club on New Year's Eve. I said, yeah, I want you to have fun. I said, for me, that's real, you know, it's not super expensive. And, you know, if we do that and we stay in town, we can because we're not going to be spending all this money to stay in hotels and flights, we can buy a new outfit to go out. I would rather spend money on something like that I can use more for 3 days at New Year's and go, you know. I said, we can buy new outfits. I said, we can go to dinner somewhere really nice. And I said, then we can get a section in the club. It'll be fine. And like, that to me is more worth it than that, you know. And then if you want to invite some of your girlfriends to come to the club as well, because we're going to actually, you know, we'll obviously have other spots for this section. I said, I just think we'll have more fun doing that. And he was like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. So we might do that. I don't know. There's a lot of these parties that they have in Indianapolis, like the Regent's Tower and stuff like that. We have done those for years and years and years. And I am just like, I can't do those parties again. They're not bad. You know, they're fun. They're okay. Like, we just, you know, a lot of our friends went back in the day, but a lot of our friends don't go to that stuff anymore. Most of our friends go out of town for New Year's, honestly. And between you and I, if it were me, I would watch the ball. I would go out to dinner and then watch the ball drop on TV somewhere like we did last year with Jason and Melissa. Like, to me, it is just, and we were, you know, Alex was like crashing asleep after that. Like, I just do not care. Like, I think New Year's Eve for me, and maybe this is all the years of being sober, and like, I spent a lot of New Year's Eve with my mom after I got sober. Not all of them. I mean, some of them I went out and did stuff, you know. But at those first couple years, if I didn't go to like the sobriety dance, or, you know, I wasn't with a friend or whatever like that, I would, can I just tell you something that just really drives me crazy? Why do grown adults refer to gay men and lesbians partners as their friend or their special friend? Can I just tell you that just drives me absolutely crazy? So I was at this thing today, and I saw this person that I hadn't seen for a while, and they were asking me about this other person that I knew from like when I was growing up, that I went to high school with, he and his brother. And he was like, oh, he and his friend got married. I swear to God, I about came out of my skin. I wanted to look at this man and say, friends don't get married, okay? Like, maybe that's part of it, but like, no, it's his husband. he and his boyfriend, he and his fiance got married. Like, you wouldn't say that about a woman. You wouldn't say, oh, she married her friend, referring to her. I mean, I know somebody in the comment section is going to correct me and say, well, yes, you would. No, you wouldn't. No, you just wouldn't, okay? You wouldn't say about somebody, like if it was your son, you wouldn't say, well, he and his friend got married, implying that it was his wife. If you said that, people would assume he was gay and that he was marrying a man. That's the thing. I don't know why that irritates me so much. My mom did that a couple times when I came out, like, and I know that that's a struggle. I was actually just talking to a friend about this yesterday. She was saying to me that she's a friend whose son just came out, and I said, you know, and that she's really struggling with it. And I said, you know, one of the things that we don't talk about is the fact that parents have a coming out process too. Like, it's just not that simple for them. Like, I wish we could just jump to, you should love your kids unconditionally, but the reality, and that's true, we should, right? Like, you should love your kids unconditionally. But like, it's perspective for a lot of parents that have religious issues and belief systems and whatever that, you know, yes, they should get to the point of loving their kid unconditionally, but it might take a little time, you know? Hell, most people that are part of the LGBTQIA plus community, it's not like we just like figure it out overnight. Like, there's a process with that, you know? And then we throw it on people, and then we immediately, like, if those people aren't just like super accepting overnight, it's like we're like, hey, why don't you love your kid? It's like, well, let's give them a little bit of time. Like, you know, let's let them talk to a counselor and maybe find some other parents that have gone through similar things, and let's let them process it, you know? Now, I don't like when I hear the stories of they're immediately kicked out and stuff like that, because I've had that happen to quite a few friends of mine that were homeless as a result of coming out to their parents when they were 17, and they, like, their parents just kicked them out on the street. Like, you're no longer my child kind of thing, and still don't talk to their parents. Like, that to me, I don't understand, okay? To say, hey, listen, I'm struggling with this a little bit, but we're going to get through this because I love you, but just give me some time. That's different than you're no longer my child. That's some sick stuff right there. But, you know, my mom did that a couple of times to me, and I was a little bit more, I know this is going to be hard to believe, but back then I was a little bit more vocal. I mean, with my mom, I was, you know, like, if my mom did something that upset me, I'd be like, seriously, Mom? And, one time I can't remember who I was dating. This is before I got sober. Oh, yes, I do remember. And I said, this is, you know, my boyfriend, so-and-so, and whatever. She just heard about him, you know, like, talking on the phone. And, so, like, while we were talking, somebody came up, and my mom said something like, his special friend or something. And I was like, that sounds so corny. Don't say that. I said, he's my boyfriend. Like, I don't understand why that's so difficult for people. It's like they can't wrap their heads around it or something. It's like I don't have any issue with it, but you can't call him their boy. You can't call it what it is. Let's just call it what it is, right? Or I think they don't know what to call it. You know, like personally, I do not love the word lover. Like, I just think he's my nighttime lover, or whatever that song is. I don't love that word lover, okay? I just don't. I think it just sounds so sexualized. I don't know. And I really, to be honest with you, I don't love partner. But I do say partner out of respect for other people, because I don't know what words they use. Unless they'll say, you know, my husband or my boyfriend, and I know that, then I'll introduce people like, this is, you know, Joe and his boyfriend Johnny, or this is Joe and his husband Johnny, or whatever. But if I don't, I'll be like, this is Joe and his partner Johnny, if I don't know, and then let them correct it, you know? I think partner is probably the most respectful thing. But, like, it gets so confusing with that stuff. But what's so weird about it is, like, if it were, like, if you knew, like, your friends, like, was dating this girl, you'd be like, oh, this is Joe and his girlfriend Sally Joe. Like, can you even imagine Joe and Sally Joe? But anyway, this is, you know, Joe and his girlfriend Sally Joe. And it wouldn't seem like this huge confusing thing, but when it comes to gay couples, it's like all of a sudden we don't know what to do with that, and we have to call them special friends and friends. It's corny. Don't do it. Please don't. And it also makes you feel like how I felt when this guy said to me he married his friend. I thought, you look at it differently, and you think less of our marriage than you think of your own or one of your own children. Because you wouldn't say that if it were your child, you know, like marrying a woman, of which his child is married to a woman. So he wouldn't say, well, my son, you know, he married his friend. What is that? I don't like that. That's so corny. And here's the other thing in 2021, one of the greatest lessons I've learned. If you don't know, ask. If you're afraid of being offensive to somebody, just ask. Hell, I have been hell of offensive to people and didn't know that it was. You know? And what I've learned is, just ask. I don't want to be I don't want to be offensive to people. I don't want to make people feel like less than they are. You know? Just ask them if you don't know. Like, what words do you prefer to use? You know? And all that kind of stuff. I'm like in my head, like, do I want to go here? Okay, like, because this is a controversial topic, but I'm going to talk about it. Like, people that identify as they, them, okay. Personally, at 49 years old, it has been hard for me grammatically, and I know this is going to sound stupid, okay, to get used to using they, them in a sentence. Like, it's been hard for me, right? Because if I think of somebody and, like, my history of knowing them is either, you know, that their gender has been male or female, and now all of a sudden they choose to go by they, them, I'm pretty good at it now, okay? But there was a period where, like, I would think this way, and I think this is honest. I think most people think this way, that, you know, that are my age, I would say, that, you know, like, I would think of them this way or I think of them that way, and then I, like, had to train my mind around saying, like, they, them in the context of that sentence. Okay, but here's the deal. I don't think it's a lot to ask. I don't understand why we're misgendering people if they ask, you know, like, if that's what they're asking to do, allow them to do it, you know, like, I just don't think that's a huge ask in our world, you know, and I don't think it's a huge thing to be respectful of somebody, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't, and it's like, I don't know, I just don't think it's a huge thing, and I think it's not their job to train us, it's our job to train ourselves to speak that way, and the reality is, going forward, it's just gonna be part of our world. And, you know, I have, like, I feel like I've come into contact with some people that are like, well, I'm not using that. I mean, these are not friends of mine, but they're like, well, I'm not doing that crap, that they, them crap. And I'm like, what's that about? What's your resistance to that? You know, like, hey, be cool about it, right? Like, that's all they're asking. It's just not that huge of a deal, right? Like, be respectful. So, and I think that's it. And I think, like, you know, I remember when I was growing up, I love the song, you know, the Bob Dylan song, The Times They Are A-Changin', and I can remember my mom singing that song, and, you know, I would love that song, and I so related to it when I was younger, because I was like, you know, like, oh, like, the times they are a-changin', and, you know, like, and to me what that song represented is, it's like youth time now, right? Well, now I'm the older person in the scenario, and I think it's time for me to get on board, and if I want, like, I am such a believer that if you want respect from somebody, you show them respect first, you know? Like, if you, like, people, you know, always are like, well, the way to get respect is to show me respect or whatever. Like, if you want me to respect you, you have to respect me first. Okay, I'll respect you first. You know, I just don't think that that's a deep ask either, you know? Like, it's like, we make all this stuff, like, so difficult in our world, and it's just like, you want me to respect you, you want me to do this, you want me to do that. Okay, that's not huge. I'm more than willing to do that. Don't refer to my husband as my friend, okay? Yes, he's one of my dearest friends, but so is Tanya Jean, and I don't ever, okay? Like, that's just the reality. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, to me, like, I don't know. It's just, like, crazy to me that, I don't know, like, just be respectful of people for what they ask. It's just not that deep, you know? And I think, like, this is the thing that people don't understand, and I think a lot about this with, like, the misgendering of people, or, you know, whatever context we're talking about, respecting people and what they ask, right? Like, there have been moments that I have been standing there and somebody will say something to me that maybe isn't even out of them, because I don't think most of the time it's ignorant. I don't really, like, Well, that's not what I meant to say. I don't think that most of the time it's out of negativity or hatred, right? I think most of the time they just don't know, right? Like, they just don't know, like, what's the right thing to say. You know, maybe they don't know a lot of gay couples. I don't know. Maybe they just don't know what to say in that situation. So they kind of beat around the bush, or they'll be like, friend, and they think that's like a safe word. Just ask. Just like, there's nothing wrong with asking, you know? Just be like, hey, like, what do you and Alex refer to yourselves as? We're husbands. Okay. You know, like, it's just not that deep. But I've had people sit there and say things to me before, and they'll introduce me to somebody, and they'll say, oh, you know, this is Alex's friend, Peter. And that, like, it really, like, in that moment, like, I feel like that kid in high school again, where people didn't take me seriously, you know, because I was this joke. You know, I didn't matter like anybody else. You know, my experience wasn't the same as anybody else. I love to look at this field over here. Let me just show you, okay? I don't know if you can see it. The camera stopped because it was the end of 30 minutes, right, as I was showing you the fields. But anyway, I love to look out over that field when I drive by and I'm listening to audiobooks and see if I see deer out there, because there's sometimes like deer standing way out there. But, you know, like, I just think it's so much easier just to say to somebody, like, 'cause in those moments, I just feel so, like, just depleted and diminished as a human being. And I just think, just ask. I don't want to have to correct the world, you know? And I don't think other people want to do that either. And, I just don't think it's that deep, you know? Be respectful of people. That's just my thing. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? You don't? Okay. I mean, I know some people don't agree with that. Like, you know, I mean, every time that I do a video and I understand people's belief systems. I'm not going to give examples about it, okay? And that people don't always agree with the way that maybe I see the world, okay? That if, you know, this is an important topic, so I'm going to say how I feel about this, because I was like, okay, this is going to get controversial, because I know there's some people out there that don't want to hear it. The misgendering of trans people, to me, is one of the most disgusting things that can happen. I mean, I think it leads to the violence and the hatred that we see in the world. And I really, really dislike it, and you want to get blocked quickly from my channel. It's when I will talk about somebody that is trans, and somebody will say in my comment section, like, I am not, like, I don't care if they have completely transitioned. Like, I am not referring to that person other than what they were born. And I'm like, I don't really, okay. Like, it doesn't really affect that person, right? But I just feel like, I think that the scariness behind that is that that leads to, you know, trans people of color are some of the highest rates of murder in our country. And that thinking, of supporting that thinking, goes along with the hatred and the violence targeted towards that community specifically. So, like, this is very much how I feel when people attack people's recoveries and say, oh, why don't you go smoke a blunt, or are you going to hit that crack pipe again? You're wishing death on that person, okay? Because you're joking about their recovery. You're joking about their addiction that is very, very serious, okay? You want to come for somebody, there's a lot of things you can come for. You don't need to come for their addiction or their recovery. That's wishing death on somebody. I don't even mess with people that do that, okay? On social media or in my personal life. I think that's disgusting. And when you do that, you're wishing death on somebody, okay? Equally, I think it's the same thing. And I honestly think, like, as I've gotten older in the world and I've started to see things differently, it's not that the world needs to change sometimes. It's that I need to change within the world. I need to learn. I need to grow up. I need to better myself. I need to ask people, what's your experience? Tell me about your experience so that I can see from my point of view, you know, and I can changed my world perspective, because I don't, and this is not a new concept, you know, this is, you know, Harper Lee and To Kill a Mockingbird. You know, you don't really know somebody until you walk around on their front porch in their shoes for a while, you know? Like, I mean, this is not a new idea. And yet, there's so many of us, I think, that are... All I ask is this, is if you have a really strict belief about something, maybe ask yourself, you know, like when you're holding so tight to it, you know, maybe I'm wrong about this. You know, it's like I have a friend of mine who their family is extremely religious. And, you know, whenever I talk to them about it, it's always like, I don't, like, they're like, you know, you probably hate my family. I'm like, no, I don't at all. Like, I think that they believe what they believe, and that's because of their religious beliefs, which they have very strong faith in, and I don't hate them for that. Like, I respect that. Like, that's what they believe, as long as they're not causing harm to other people. You know, as long as they are not they're not stopping other people from allowing to live their truth, as long as they are not, in the words of Christianity and love and compassion, spewing hatred towards somebody else. That's where I have an issue with it, you know? Don't speak out of both sides of your mouth to me. Don't tell me about how loving and kind you are and then spew hatred and tell somebody that they're literally, you know, a piece of sin. Like, you know, and they're, you know, going to hell for what... I don't care for all that. I don't play into that. I don't even have that discussion with people, you know. When I was younger and people wanted to tell me I was going to hell for being gay and all that kind of stuff, I was like, oh, okay, whatever. You know, I would want to get into that conversation and have a 4-hour discussion about it. I realize I'm not going to change anybody's mind today, you know. What I've realized is if I'm going to change their mind, it's because they're going to get to know me as a human being, and then they're going to change their mind as a result of that. I'm not going to change somebody's mind by having a 4-hour conversation with somebody in a debate. And really what those people want is, they want the debate, and I don't have time for it. I got 4 hours to spend on somebody else that actually wants me to be around, you know. That's where I'm at today with it. But there's been a lot of things in my life that I have felt very strongly about, and what I realized later is that I was maybe not completely right about those things. You know, that in fact, maybe I was very wrong about how I looked at the world. And so today, when I look at the world, and this is all I ask of other people, you know, when I look at the world, I say, and I'm open to being proven differently. I'm open to somebody sharing something with me that's different than how I feel, you know? When I left the house this morning on the heels of listening to the Michelle Collins show, I really didn't think I was going to get into all of this on the vlog this morning. But listen, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. I just think we can all be a little bit more respectful of one another. We can all be a little bit more kinder to one another. We can all be a little bit more loving to one another. You know, and... it was interesting talking to my friend on the phone because, like, she was saying about her friend, like, who's struggling with her son coming out at 21. And I said, you know, like, it's, and like, I felt like I was like in this teaching role, and I actually learned from her. And I'm not a parent, and she is, of several kids, grown kids. And I said, I think that for a lot of parents, it's really, because she said a parent should love a child unconditionally, period, end of story. And I said, I agree with you, but I think it's difficult sometimes because they're not prepared for that. And she goes, I don't care. A parent should love their child unconditionally, end of story. And I was like blown away. I kind of was like, I'm really proud of my friend for feeling that way, you know? And that doesn't mean that you condone murder and stuff like that. But I mean, I think with everything else underneath there, you know, of course, like, just about a person, you know, it's like, yeah, like, I don't get that, honestly. It breaks my heart. I don't know. Which is then why so many of us have families of choice instead of families of origin. I feel so blessed that my family has always, and this is a sad thing, right? That my family has always been so accepting and so loving of me and my partners and whatever. You know, it's like, my partners, me and my boyfriends, my husband. I mean, there's never been you know, anything about it. Like I said, my mom struggled a little bit at the beginning, but she was always kind. She was always loving about it. She was always, you know, accepting. But like, I think, like, looking back, if my mom had said to me, like, this is new to me, like, I don't know what to call him, like, what should I call him? And I would say, you can call him my boyfriend, Mom, you know, that's what he is. I think for my mom, a little bit, it was difficult because I think boyfriend had a whole set of implications with it that at maybe month 1, she wasn't ready to wrap her head around, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think she really wanted to imagine all that goes along with boyfriends, you know? And I think that it was almost kind of more of a loving term for her, where for me, it's just been kind of this, I don't put a lot of significance to the word boyfriends, you know? But that's just me. Or girlfriends, or boyfriend and girlfriend, or whatever, you know, it's just to me like, oh, we're dating and we're in a, you know, relationship. It's not like, I don't know. I just think we could all be a little bit more loving, kind, and respectful and compassionate to one another, don't you think? All right, to switch subjects before I get off here. Now, you know what tomorrow is, don't you? It's December 1st. So tomorrow or Thursday, well, it might be Thursday, because tomorrow I got to take my car in very, very early to get my brakes fixed. So either tomorrow, it'll either be tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday, I will be putting up the contest on Peter Monn's Vloggerinos. I'm very, very excited about it. Troy's been helping me come up with some ideas, so I am much appreciative to Troy, who's also going to help me judge. And yeah, so when I put that up over there, I will also make an announcement over here as well. So you guys know about all that. And anyway, it is so hot in this car. It's 11:11, make a wish. It is so hot in this car, and I have the heat on 70. I don't know, it's probably because the sun is coming down on me. Turn the heat off. Ooh, it's 46. It warmed up, it warmed up quite a bit, didn't it? Anyway, all right, you guys, listen, I'm going to get off here now, and I hope that you, oh, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. I hope that you are having the most magically amazing Tuesday in the whole wide world, and I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching and riding around with me today, and this was I had a good time having this conversation. So anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you later tonight, actually, but for you, tomorrow. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya. Oh, and for those that need to hear it, and those that want to hear it, and those that just happen to stick around, yeah, spirit fingers. One more, I love you. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Happy birthday, Lena. Bye. Love ya.